Hi, my name is Lashandra Morgan, and I am the owner of Edible Antidote. I thank you so much, Liberty Hill, for inviting me to come speak to you. Today, I'm coming to talk to you about some healthy eating and healthy cooking tips to help you have a good quality of life, to help you reduce your risk of chronic disease. And let's get started. So, the first thing I want to talk to you about is drinking water. Some people say that you should drink 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. Some people say you should drink 5 to 8 glasses of water. Some people say you don't even need all that water. That's just something the water companies say to make you buy their water. Some people say that how much water you drink a day varies from person to person because everybody's body is different. So, how much water should you drink a day? So, a good rule of thumb is to try to drink half your weight in water. So, for example, if you weigh 150 pounds, then a good rule of thumb would be to drink 75 ounces a day because 75 is half of 150. So, please know that if you're not following that rule and you are getting your 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, you are doing an amazing job. Keep up the good work. If you're a person that kind of struggles with getting your water intake, try to drink more, like baby steps. Try to drink no less than 5 glasses of water a day. And when I say a glass of water, I mean 8 ounces. So 5 8-ounce glasses of water a day, no less. When you don't drink enough water, it can do a lot of damage to your kidneys. And trust me, you don't want kidney problems. That's something that you absolutely do not want to have to deal with. Ladies, for whatever reason, when we don't drink enough water, our bodies tend to retain it. And so that's why sometimes you may be feeling bloated and stuff like that. It's because your body's hanging on to that water because your body is like, I don't know when you're going to give me water again, so I'm going to keep what I can. And so I want y'all to do me a favor. I want you to go weigh yourself, and this is particularly for people that know that they don't drink enough water. Ladies, go weigh yourself, and then I want you to drink a sufficient amount of water for 3 or 4 days. And then I want you to weigh yourself and then send me a message on social media. You can find me on Edible Antidote on Facebook or Edible_Antidote on Instagram. I want you to do that, and then I want you to send me a message and tell me how much weight you lost. You will be completely surprised how much weight you lose just from drinking water. And then that bloated feeling also goes away. So a lot of times I know people take diuretic pills and things like that to help them get rid of water weight. Natural diuretic, just drink water. Some people don't even need to take a pill for that. Okay, so what if you don't like the taste of water? Or what if you drink water all the time and you like, I am just tired of drinking plain water. I need something with some flavor. Okay, so it's okay to add a little flavor to your water. But when I say add flavor, no, I am not talking about Kool-Aid, because some people will justify, well, you know, this is Kool-Aid, but the Kool-Aid is made, it's all this water in the Kool-Aid. Nope, I'm not talking about that because Kool-Aid has all of that sugar. And no, I'm not talking about getting the little packets and putting them in your water. It's great if you're making efforts to drink water that way. Only problem is with those little packets like Crystal Light, because some people are like, nope, I don't drink Kool-Aid because it has all that sugar, so I'm going to use Crystal Light instead because it doesn't have sugar. The reason why that's not a good thing to do is because those little packets, especially if it says sugar-free, in a lot of cases you'll notice that it tastes even sweeter. It's because it has this chemical called aspartame, and aspartame is not the business. It is not good for you. Aspartame is the devil. Stay away from it. Aspartame can cause all kinds of crazy side effects like hypertension or high blood pressure. It can cause stroke. It can cause seizures. It can cause Alzheimer's and dementia. It's just something that you should try to avoid if you can. So it's like, okay, well, you telling me I can have flavor. I can't have Kool-Aid. I can't have the non-sugar option of Kool-Aid. So what am I supposed to do? So what you can do a fruit-infused water. So take actual fruit or, some kind of flavor that you like, whatever fruits you like, put it in your water. So my favorite is lemon and cucumber. When someone first told me about that, I was like, I don't know. But then I tried it, and I actually like it a lot. The more you put in your water, the more benefits you get. For example, with lemon, for some reason, lemon, even though it's acidic, for some reason it alkalizes your body. What that means is that when you drink the lemon in your water, it makes, like, the opposite of something being acidic is something being basic. It balances out your pH. And people say that if you have the perfect balanced pH, that you almost can't get sick. And a lot of the things we eat are very acidic. And so you want something alkaline to balance your body's pH. So that's a good thing. Putting lemon in your water. Lemon is also a natural diuretic. It helps you get rid of all that water weight. Something else lemon does is it detoxifies your body. So a lot of times you have toxins and different things that you eat. There's toxins in the air. Lemon helps get rid of that stuff. And so those are reasons why you should add lemon to your water. Other reasons that you should add cucumber to your water. Cucumber actually helps, Cucumber helps to keep your body hydrated. And so, especially in the summer months, that's really important. So that's why I like to do cucumber and lemon. It tastes really good. And then, if you want to be fancy with it, add some peppermint leaves to it. So just try it. I've known people to add oranges and blueberries and strawberries. So just get creative. But that is a healthy way to add flavor to your water. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is eating fruits and vegetables. You've probably heard people tell you your entire life that fruits and vegetables are healthy. But today I'm going to explain why they're healthy. So you have two different types of organisms in the world. You have autotrophs and you have heterotrophs. An autotroph is a type of organism that makes its own food to survive, so you don't have to feed it. A heterotroph is a type of organism that does not make its own food. It has to eat in order to survive. So an example of an autotroph is a plant. You don't have to feed your plant. An example of a heterotroph would be us, or an animal like a dog. This is why you have to feed your dog, but you don't have to feed your plants. Plants are autotrophs, animals are heterotrophs. So think about this. How often have you seen a sick person or a sick animal versus a sick plant? It's not very often that you see sick plants, because plants create these chemicals. They have these chemicals called phytochemicals with that food that they make for themselves. We do not make our own food. We have to eat in order to survive. And so we have to eat those phytochemicals. And those phytochemicals, when we eat those plants, i.e. fruits and vegetables, they help to protect us from disease. When we eat those phytochemicals, when we eat the plants and they help us, those are called antioxidants. An antioxidant is anything that you eat that helps to repair your cells. So that's an antioxidant. And plants like fruits and vegetables are packed full of antioxidants. They are so healthy and they benefit our body in so many ways. So every single time you breathe, you leave behind this trash in your cells called free radicals. Those free radicals can make you very, very sick with diseases like cancer. So the best way to protect yourself from diseases like cancer are to eat plants, because those phytochemicals or antioxidants, when we eat them, they go into your cells and they clean up all of that trash that's left behind in your cells. All those free radicals, it clears them out. So one of the best ways to protect yourself from diseases like cancer are to eat fruits and vegetables. When you don't eat fruits and vegetables, you are making yourself susceptible to disease. Okay? And that's why it's really important to eat your vegetables. So, how many fruits and vegetables should you eat a day? That's the big question. So, when you fix your plate every day, half of your plate is supposed to be vegetables. And you also, being more specific, you should have about 5 or more fruits or vegetables a day. 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables a day. A serving is about a cup or about the size of your fist. That's a serving of vegetables. And about half of your plate should be vegetables. So that's just food for thought. And when I say half your plate in veggies, I mean non-starchy veggies. Vegetables that don't have so many carbohydrates in them. So starchy vegetables would include potatoes, beans, corn, green peas, butternut squash, acorn squash. Those are starchy vegetables. So maybe a quarter of your plate of those. So when I say a half of your plate should be vegetables, I don't want to see you with a half a plate of mashed potatoes. That's not what I mean. So non-starchy vegetables are the way to go when you're looking at half your plate being vegetables. Non-starchy vegetables would include leafy greens like collard greens, turnip greens, kale, mustard greens. What else? Any type of lettuce like romaine lettuce or spinach. All those are non-starchy vegetables. Broccoli, string beans, all of those are non-starchy vegetables. So half your plate in non-starchy vegetables, that is the way to go. So the next thing you should strive to do is to eat all of the colors of the rainbow. I always tell my kids, taste the rainbow, not Skittles. So you want to try to have every color of the rainbow. So when I'm giving nutrition talks to students and kids, because us adults, we tend to be stuck in our ways sometimes. So I tend to reach adults through children, because then the children will bug their parents about eating healthy. And so what I tell them is that every color has a different superpower. Every color, vegetable, or fruit benefits your body in a different way. So red is good for your heart. It's good for heart health. Orange and yellow are very good with boosting your immunity and helping you fight disease. Green is good for promoting strong bones. Blue and purple is good for your brain. It really helps you with brain function and brain power. And then fruits and vegetables that are white or brown help with your teeth or with oral health. And so you want to think about half your plate being vegetables and a quarter of your plate, if you're going to do starchy vegetables, a quarter of your plate be starchy vegetables. And then you also want to try to strive to eat all of the colors of the rainbow every day if you can. So the enemy of vegetables is dark soda. I don't know if you've ever heard people tell you not to drink a lot of dark soda. Well, here is the reason why. So when you're eating all of those vegetables and your food is going through your digestive system, when it gets to your small intestine, that's where you absorb all of your nutrients. All those wonderful nutrients that you're eating in those vegetables gets absorbed into your blood when it gets to the small intestine. Now, dark soda has this stuff called caramel coloring in it. That's what makes it dark. Caramel coloring is very sticky. And it gets stuck in the lining of your small intestine where you're supposed to be absorbing nutrients. So if you're doing a good job eating all the vegetables that you're supposed to eat, and then you are drinking all this dark soda, then it kind of defeats the purpose of eating all those wonderful fruits and vegetables, because you're not going to absorb it because that caramel coloring from the dark soda is getting in the way. So now that we talked about why fruits and vegetables are important, let's talk about how to prepare them. So one thing that we tend to do sometimes, we overcook our vegetables and cook all the great nutrients out of them, which also defeats the purpose of eating them if we're going to get rid of the nutrients, right? So one thing that we've started doing in our home, we like to roast vegetables now. We will get some, like let's say broccoli. We'll get some fresh broccoli from the store and we will roast it in the oven, but we'll drizzle it with olive oil, and then we kind of make sure the olive oil is all over the broccoli. And then we might sprinkle it with a little bit of pink salt, a little bit of black pepper, And then some onion powder. I don't know why I put onion powder on everything. But yeah, I use pink salt. Pink salt is a bit more flavorful than regular old white salt, and it has more minerals. So if you're going to use salt, that's the way to go. It's more flavorful, so you don't have to use as much, and it's a little bit more nutrient. So yeah, so that's what we do. And if you're a cheese lover, then maybe you want to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on it if you're trying to be fancy. And you put it in the oven. You let it roast like 400, 425, and then you just kind of keep an eye on it. Let it roast for about 15, 20 minutes or so. And you pop it out. And it's really tasty. We eat it like popcorn. It's really good. You know you're doing good if your kids are begging you for roasted broccoli. Okay, so another thing that you can try is kale. Making some kale chips. Kale chips are really tasty. You kind of do the same thing. You put your oven on 400 or 425, depends on your oven, and you drizzle it with olive oil. Now with kale, it's really tough, so you want to make sure that you massage the olive oil over the kale. It helps break down the cell wall so that your body absorbs it better. And you can get creative with that one. You can do a little bit of pink salt and black pepper if you want, but we've tried onion powder, we've tried garlic powder. You can just get creative, and it's really, really tasty. Other things you can roast. We have tried roasting butternut squash. We've tried roasting sweet potatoes. And it's the same deal. We put the oven on 400 or 425, depending on how you like it. And we kind of go crazy with those. We drizzle them with olive oil, and we'll sprinkle, what do? We do a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, pink salt, pepper. We do garlic powder, chili powder, onion powder, and we just kind of go crazy. And then we'll make sure that we spread the seasoning all around. Put it in the oven, take it out, and you have a healthy component of your meal. So the last thing I want to talk to you all today about is meat. Please don't beat me up, okay? Because I have some stuff to say about meat, and I don't think y'all are going to like it very much, but here I go. So meat consumption is one of the primary reasons people have chronic disease, especially in the African American community. Meat has a lot of fat, because you have some good fats, you have some bad fats, but meat has a lot of the bad fat that we try to avoid. For example, when you cook a hamburger, what happens? You see all of the grease and that juice that drips out of that burger. What happens to that juice when it cools down? It's liquid when it's hot. When it cools down, it solidifies, right? It turns into this thick jelly-like stuff. That solid stuff, that's actually saturated fat. That is the same saturated fat that will clog your arteries and cause you to have a heart attack. Something to think about, huh? Meat in general, like I know that people say, oh, well, you should eat lean meat. You should eat meats like poultry, which is a white meat, and things like that. White meat is better for you than red meat, but it still leads to chronic disease. Did you know that both red meat and poultry cause insulin resistance? Yep. So even eating baked chicken, it causes insulin resistance, which can cause you to have diabetes. So people always like to say, oh, well, there's no cure for diabetes. Not true. There are lots of people who have adopted a plant-based diet. That means that they only eat foods that come from plants. They don't even do dairy, because dairy is an animal product because it comes from a cow. So they don't do cheese. They don't even do honey, because honey comes from bees. They just strictly stick to plants. And with animal products, it causes fat to be in places in your body where it's not supposed to be. That leads to that insulin resistance. So if you don't have any insulin resistance going on, then you're regulating your sugar, your blood sugar, just fine. And so some people who have had, and I say past tense, had diabetes, they adopted a plant-based diet, And then they were considered in remission, meaning that their blood sugar is doing absolutely fine and they're not on medication anymore because they have a plant-based diet. Now, they do exercise and stuff like that to help them regulate their blood pressure too. But yep, meat leads to chronic disease. A lot of people don't think about cancer. Cancer is actually an obesity-related disease, and it is a chronic disease. The obesity-related cancers like prostate cancer, breast cancer, colorectal cancer, those are all the cancers that take out black folks. And for whatever reason, white women get breast cancer more than African American women. However, African American women die more. We have a higher mortality rate of breast cancer. And so when you are not eating meat, it makes it easier for you to manage your weight as well. And so it's less likely that you'll be obese. And if you are obese or overweight or something like that, and you stop eating meat as much, you'll notice that you'll lose weight, which is decreasing your risk of cancer. So, for those of you that do eat meat and you're like, I ain't listening to her, I ain't giving up meat. Okay, that's fine. But we're going to talk about portion control. So if you go to a restaurant and you order a steak, getting a 15-ounce T-bone steak is not one serving of meat. That's not one serving. One serving of meat is about 3 or 4 ounces. And a serving of meat, or you can compare it to the size of a deck of cards. That's one serving of meat, or the palm of your hand. That's a serving of meat. One serving of meat, just your size, the palm of your hand. So portion control is key. Also, let's talk about fish. Fish is a meat. Fish does not cause insulin resistance, and it is packed full of a substance called omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3 fatty acids are absolutely wonderful for your heart. It does wonders for your heart. Some people even think of omega-3 as an antioxidant, because whereas the saturated fat that people eat gets stuck in your arteries and it can cause you to have high blood pressure, that omega-3 fatty acid actually goes into your arteries and pulls out that bad fat. And so that's how good omega-3 fatty acids are for you. And so when you hear people talking about fatty fish, that's actually a good thing. Fatty fish, because the fat they're referring to is omega-3. So fatty fishes like salmon, albacore tuna, stuff like that, full of omega-3 fatty acids. And a good rule of thumb is to try to have fish about twice a week. If you can eat fish twice a week, you're doing good. So fish is good, does not cause insulin resistance. And for people that eat fish only, they are referred to as pescatarian. So just like you have someone who might have a plant-based diet, some people call it being a vegan. With people that only eat fish for their protein, those are called pescatarians. So they live pretty healthy lifestyles. And as far as healthy recipes, let's say chicken wings. I know people like chicken wings. So if you decide that you want to make chicken wings, you should try baking it. Other healthy ways, actually, before I get into that, to prepare meat, instead of frying it, you want to try baking it, grilling it, or something that's been trending for the last few years is getting an air fryer. I promise you it is worth every penny. It's like you're frying, but you're not using the grease, and it's really healthy for you. Okay, so back to the recipe. So if you set your oven on 400 degrees and you get some wing sections like the little drumettes and the flats, you can season them, and this is a really simple recipe. So put your oven on 400 degrees, season it with some Creole or Cajun seasoning. Our favorite one that we use in our house is this seasoning called Slap Your Mama. It's a Cajun seasoning, and it is really good. So you season it with that, and get some Italian seasoning, and season it with that on both sides of the chicken. Put it in the oven on 400 degrees, and you let it stay for about 45 minutes to an hour. My husband likes his crispy, like just before burnt. So we do it for 1 hour, and the kids absolutely love it. It's really tasty, and it's not fried, so it's not terrible for you. And good points about, I'm not going to completely knock meat. Like, meat does have iron. It has B12 vitamins that give you energy, and it is packed full of protein. So there you go. All right, it's been great talking with you all. I hope that I was able to help you like understand how to maintain a healthy diet, and I hope that you have a great quality of life, and I have helped you improve your health outcomes. Love y'all. Bye.